Hello, this is Cameron Snow with Danomics.com. In this video, I'm going to be covering two items. First, how to supplement an alias table, and then second, how to put a user-defined equation into your CPI file. So let's get started. So let's say you have a project open and you notice that you are missing a curve, and you know that that well has it. So this probably means that you need to supplement the alias table that we have built into the software to include that curve mnemonic. So here's how we do this. First of all, you go to your user settings icon, and this will be the little head that's on the top right hand corner. So you'll click on that, and you'll see a number of options here. We're going to select CPI Config, which should be the last option in the list for you. Once you do this, it'll open up a new tab called CPI Config, and you'll notice it opens to a blank window. This is where the overrides to the config will go. And in the config itself, you'll notice that we have a list of files, and these files contain all the parameters and equations that are available to you in the software. Since we're focused on including some curve aliases here, we're going to go to aliases.yaml. And there are two parts that we need to get here. First is we need to get this keyword aliased curve. So we're just going to copy this and we're going to paste that into our overrides. Next, we'll need to get the curve alias that we want to supplement. So let's say in this example we want to supplement our neutron alias. So what we need to do is we just need to get this, and we're going to copy it, and then we'll come over to our overrides and we'll paste that in. So a few things to notice here at this point. One, we've got this alias curve, and that tells us that this key here is related to our curve aliases. You'll notice that the next line down here we have a line that starts with a hashtag. That means it's a comment. And if you want to put your own comments in here, you can do so. Just start with a hash sign, and then you can say something like, you know, here we are supplementing the infi alias table. The key tells us this is what we are aliasing to, and for aliases you should not change this because this will be used further downstream in a number of the calculations the software performs for you. What you can change here is the alias section, and you'll notice this is in brackets, and we have a number of entries separated by commas. So let's say we wanted to add the alias NEU, so NEU. So now we've added that, and that would now be present to us. The last thing we have to do is we have to hit Submit Custom Overrides. Okay, so that is how we can supplement the alias table. It should be noted that you can really put this this new mnemonic anywhere. If you wanted to put that higher up in priority, you could certainly do so. You could put it at the start. You could put it, you know, anywhere in here. You just need to do this and make sure that it's separated by a comma from the previous entry. Okay, so the second thing I want to show you is how we put in a user-defined equation. So if we go back to our project and we go to Equation Playground, I'm going to clear out some old equations here. We could come in here and we could, you know, say for example we want to look at our volume of clay, and the alias on that, or the name for that, is VWCL. And we can see that it gives us it shows us what the calculation of that is. Let's say we wanted to add our own custom method for this. So let's say we had you know, our own way of doing things. Perhaps what you'd like to do is something very similar to this. You know, and let's take just our generic equation for V clay here. So I'm just going to copy and paste this out of the config. So I'm just going to this equation here. And let's say we wanted to to have this method be what determines our vclay. So, we can come here to our equation playground. We can put in this equation. We can see the results from it. We can, perform modifications here. So maybe we want to, you know, change how this is evaluated. Maybe we want to, instead of using parameters, maybe we want to use a fixed value in some case, etc. There's a number of ways that you could manipulate this equation. If you need to know what the mathematical operators are in Danomics, go to the help article for the CPI config, and we have all the operators listed out there for you. But once you have this equation and you want to lock this in, what you would do is, let's just copy what we have here. We're going to say copy. We're going to come down here and we're going to go to our overrides again. And the first thing we need to do is we need to tell it what type of key we're putting in here. So this is going to be an equation. And then we want to make this an equation for our vclay. So what we need to do is we need to put two spaces. So space, space, dash, space, and then the word key followed by a colon. Then we'll put in the name that we want to give that curve. So let's say we want to call it vclay. And now we need to give it the expression. So we put 4 spaces. So this way the word expression lines up with key. And then we paste in our equation here. One thing to note is when you're putting in this expression, it cannot start with the @ sign. So a lot of times I just like to wrap my entire expression in parentheses. And then we hit submit custom overrides. So now, this vclay is this VWCL, that's our original calculated one. And now we have this alternative vclay calculation that I performed via that custom expression. And if we want to see how those two compare, we can come in and we can do a cross plot of, let's say, VWCL versus vclay. And we can see that they're very similar in many places, but they do deviate a little bit, and that's because the built-in VWCL method in the software includes a vclay from neutron density. So that is how you create a custom user equation inside of the Danomics platform. So once again, that's all done here in the config. And once you have done that in the config, that's then available for all of your projects. So these are global overrides that we're applying. So if you want them to be project specific, my recommendation there would be to make sure to keep a copy of this in a text file and then just paste it in when you're working on a specific project. All right, I hope that was useful to you. And if you have any questions, you can email us at support@danomics.com. Thank you.